Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Well, I have been looking for a start time for the Gracie Awards so I'll know if they're going to stream photos while we're on. Can't find it. Does anybody know what time it starts? Anybody? Elaine Parker, thank you for being first. Corinna Reyna, Lydia Washington, Elaine Parker's here. Yes, I said that. Rodney Jackson, Lisa. No, Leisha. Hi, Leisha. Let me see here. Lorna Williams, Connie Balmer. How is this possible that you're up at this hour? Well, you told us what you do for a living, and that's definitely something that could cause for late hours. Being a very brave nurse and all. So, as I always say, nurses don't get enough credit for their contributions. Um, Let me see. And although I could barely ever say nurse without saying that, what was the last? No, what is the first person that? Uh, okay, let's say a MAGA person. Who's the first person a MAGA person sees after they have done something really stupid? It's a nurse, of course. Of course, the last thing they said before they seen the nurse was, "Watch this and hold my beer." Why is that so funny to me? Duh, watch this. Wait, hold my beer. And the next thing you know, um, you are in the emergency with some nurse tending to you. So um, that is how the MAGA people are, though. I love watching videos of MAGA people like try to fry a turkey and burn the entire house down. Let me see here. And if you are a MAGA voter, no apologies. Let me see here. Patricia Smith, hi. Watch this. Hold my beer. Hello, Joan Garcia, Marcia Delvies. Watch this. Up, hold my beer. And another nurse, right? Andrew Bodie, you're a nurse. Yeah, see there? All right. Thank you guys for your service. I wonder if there's a national monument to nurses. I'm sure there are. Jael Bolander. Hello to VS Speaks, Deborah Robinson. Um, okay, Susie Q. I'm just scrolling through. Wow, you guys are having quite the conversation. Oh, that is an affirmative. Yep. All right, very cool. All right, so why don't I put my slides up? That's what I need to do. Well, okay, I'll get them. Watch this. Hold my beer. Oh man, that never gets old. Dear, watch this. Hold my beer. Okay. So, what am I doing here? Oh, you know what, guys? Let me take one more look at the Twitter before I get started because if there is something to see. So, we've never seen a confirmation saying that the Duchess was actually going to the Gracie Award. Is that true? So, we don't know if Meghan is actually going. And, and yeah, so, huh. Okay. I'm just scrolling very fast to see if there is anything. And so far, nothing. Otherwise, they would have flooded the airways by now. So it is a possibility that it may be starting later. I didn't see anybody post the actual start time. So I suppose nobody knows, right? Okay. So, well, that. Oh, wait. I got to share that with you. I got to share that with you. Okay. First thing Monday morning, I'm gonna pack my tears away. No, no. Woo! I love the way Tony Braxton says, woo! Okay. Let me get rid of that and that. All right. Got no cause to look back. I'm looking for me a better day. All right. Hello, Jacqueline Squash. Jacqueline, the official chaplain of Royal Sussex, says, and the Sussexes are called according to God's holy purposes. Glory, hallelujah, and amen. Thank you so much, Jacqueline Squash, the official chaplain of Royal Sussex. Thank you very much. Um, woo! Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That song has been in my head. Let it go. Let it go. Wait, no, let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let it fly. And everything's gonna be all right, you know. Woo! Gotta throw that woo in there, right? Okay, okay. So we have contact here. Stephanie Baker says Gracie Red Carpet starts at 4:30. Is that Pacific time? The program starts at 6 p.m. Is that Pacific time? So that means 6 p.m. for them is in 30 minutes. Huh. Well, okay. Well, if you guys see anything, oh God, you know where I'm gonna have to go to see if there's anything posted. I really, really hate doing it, but um, oh boy, let me take a look. Oh man, I am sorry. I hate that I'm going to the dark side to check to see if there's anything, but okay, no, that's cons. That is cons. Okay. All right. So nothing yet. I will hold out for it then. Oh, by the way, you guys, remember I said that thing about the AI and how potentially dangerous that is, and how we're all going to have to get used to the idea that there's going to be um, these almost undiscernible um, AI photos generated, right? Well, it turns out that they had a situation. I don't want to post a picture here, but apparently, someone posted a picture of the Pentagon, right? They posted a picture of the Pentagon, and there was also a plume of smoke next to the Pentagon. It was actually computer generated. The computer decided, well, not the computer decided, someone, made the request. And of course, that's how that happened. Just like with that picture of the Pope in the puffy jacket. Well, that happened because someone um, generated a photo of um, of the Pope in a puffy jacket. And the thing is, some of the best photographers can barely see anything different about it. Sometimes they just don't know that it is a computer generated image. So, yeah, so be careful, you guys. And this is all leading back to what? Verify, verify, verify. Because if the derangers get a hold of that technology, God only knows what they can do with it. So just be careful, you guys, because um, we all have really suffered this past week because of the media. And that photo of the Pentagon looking as though it had been through another 9/11 situation actually caused the stock market to dip. Did you hear what I said? It almost caused, well, not almost, but there was a slight dip in the stock market because of a photo that was computer generated, and people thought that the Pentagon had been under attack again. So be careful, you guys, because this technology is here. And all I can say is if you see anything that comes up on your news feed and it just seems like it's too incredible to be true. But see, the thing is, the photo had a blue check mark, and we all heard of Bloomberg, right? I'm trying to explain to you this the way I heard it. So we all know that Bloomberg is one of the largest media companies in America. You know, not so large, but large enough that we all have heard of like Bloomberg News. Well, anyway, because it had a blue check mark and someone had fiddled around with the name Bloomberg, although it wasn't the actual Bloomberg, people saw that blue check mark and thought it was real. So if I would have saw that, I would have, I'd have probably freaked out too, but I probably would have gone, as I often do, to find out if the story is trending other places. Well, one of these days that's going to happen, and everybody's going to run with the same story, even if it's for 15 minutes. That's still enough to make the stock market dip. That's never a good thing because that kind of panic, you know, is oh man, not a good thing. Okay, so let's get on with it. And thank you for the Cash App, DM. Thank you very much for the Cash App, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex, where we let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. I want to say na 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 na, let it flow, na 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 na. I gotta go listen to that song. All right, so I'm gonna put me in the corner there. So Prince Harry lost part one. I'm just gonna call it part one. I'm not sure that's the proper terminology, but as you may have heard already, this is not the worst news in the world. Now, it's not a good thing to lose ever, but it's also room for something good to happen. In other words, so they don't want to give him the opportunity to pay for his security. Prince Harry loses legal fight to be able to pay for police protection in United Kingdom. Duke denied permission to challenge Home Office over decision on private payment for security services. Okay, so yes, he did lose that part of it. Um, the other part of that is this, though. Uh, Even though he's not able to pay for his own security service, Prince Harry's case may have been strengthened because, as some of the squatties have been speculating, they don't want Harry to pay for his own security because at some point that may mean that other members of the royal family will be required to pay for their own security. And they don't want to ever do that. They want to always get something from the public for free. Oh, thank you so much for the Cash App. SA, thank you very much. Oh, here's my bell. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And also, I'm sorry, did I forget to ring the bell before? Thank you. Let me see. Okay, wait a minute. I said SA. Am I losing track? Oh, DM. Thank you so much for the super chat. And Elaine Parker, I'm sorry for the Cash App. And Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. So, um, greatly appreciated. And thank you all for watching Royal Sussex. So, they don't want to ever have to pay, right? But the thing is, Harry's offering to do something, and I won't bore you with it again, but we've all heard of instances where other people have paid the security services for their hours. And that money probably went back to the Treasury. Who knows? But it has happened. It can happen, and it has happened. And every time the royals travel abroad to another country, like for instance, when they went to Boston, right? Boston was not reimbursed by the royal family for the security services that were provided. Now, Boston is a world class city. And of course, the Cambridges, even though they were traveling, as I would say it was royal duty. It was royal duty. Yeah, okay, it was royal duty. It doesn't seem like it. It seemed like a vanity project, but supposedly it was a royal duty. And so we never did find out the actual price that all of this costs. And a lot often they bury those expenses under the guise of, well, we don't report on this is what the Met Police always say. We don't report the actual cost of security because that may put the royal family in jeopardy. We never comment on that. We never, or we choose not to, one or the other. I say they choose to um, omit that part of the information and just tell you how much the road closure cost, or how much does it cost to remove street lamps for the Queen's funeral, that kind of a thing. So, but they pay. The money got to come from somewhere. And if you notice that leading up to the coronation, there was so many councils that decided they didn't want to do anything to celebrate. There was little or no interest to begin with. And then, of course, in comparison to the amount of money that was spent for the Queen's coronation, even if you adjust for inflation, those councils decided nay, they didn't want to do it. Even the local council of, was it Highgrove or whatever council it was that um, Charles called home, they decided that they didn't want to pay for it. So, um, but Harry should be able to pay for his security. They're trying to control Harry's entering the UK. They want to, um, I guess by default, they want to, or should I say, by their intentions, they want to exile him from the United Kingdom. They want him to feel unsafe. I think they imagine that Harry has created a rival court. And that is one of those things that is like a big no-no when it comes to royal families. The idea that you may somehow create a rival court, that strikes terror, because if there is another branch of the family that acts with authority, even if they're not acting against the monarch or the ruling dynasty within their own country, even if you're not acting against them, it's the possibility that they don't want to risk. And Harry carries a great deal of authority. It did not escape their notice what happened in Dusseldorf when they went for the countdown to kick off the year to the Invictus Games. It did not escape their notice what happened in The Hague. Or let us not forget about the trip to New York, when they went to the United Nations, and when they went to the One World Center and spent time with the mayor and his family and such. That just, I'm sure that shook them to the core, even if they won't admit it. So they can have crowds when they come here. They will always find some royal sycophants, just like that group that gathered when they went to Boston. But it would be a curious thing to see what would happen if they tried to walk in Princess Diana's footsteps. If Kate tries to go to Harlem and pull that nonsense. Because even when Diana went, the lady in Harlem that she met, she said, we have people come through here all the time. And most of them are just here for the photo op. But Diana was different. I'll never forget that lady said that. We have people come through here all the time, but there was something different about Diana. And maybe that's why she just could not be a part of that family anymore, because she had too much power when it came to the hearts of people. Diana was unbeatable. So, for whatever reason and however it happened, mysteriously, she died in that tunnel in Paris. Leaves a lot of room for speculation, doesn't it? I even spoke to an Uber driver today. Not that Uber driver, but I spoke to an Uber driver. And he's like, what do you do? And I told him I have a YouTube channel. And he asked me, and I told him, of course, Meghan and Harry. And he said, you know, that he thought that Diana did not die because of an accident. He thought it was something more to it. And this is not someone who follows that stuff, but he's about my age. He remembers Diana. He remembers the family. He remembers what she went through. And that is a problem for the royal family, in spite of everything they've tried to do. That part of it, people haven't got past that yet. She was not supposed to die in that tunnel. She was not supposed to go to Paris and die. None of that was supposed to happen, but it did. And people are still giving the royal family the side eye. And that is never going to go away. And I believe that there's going to be a whole new generation that is going to ask those questions every time. Well, as a matter of fact, let us not forget there's another season of the Crown, and they are going to try to indoctrinate everybody with this um, bias toward Charles in the next Crown, but it still is going to remind people about Diana. It is going to cause a million conversations about Diana. It is going to make people go and dig through documentaries and conspiracies in social media. And that is going to be a problem for them, especially Camilla. That is going to be a problem for them. So let me see. When you have more food banks than McDonald's in your council district, and you have low income housing that is falling apart, no one has time for a coronation if you wish to win votes. Very true, Lorna Williams. Very, very, very true. That is a problem. That is definitely a problem. As a matter of fact, it's not just a problem, it's a scandal. It really is a scandal. Fatima Ba says, I don't know how I feel, because even if he has won, I just don't trust the Met Police or the Rayvac. Yeah, and you know what? Wouldn't it be something if he went through all that trouble and didn't even use them? Wouldn't that be something if he if he exposes them and their twisted, malicious ways, and then decide, you know what, I'm good. Um, you can't tell how that might go, but I'm just saying, wouldn't that be something? Yeah, you know, they do things in the light of day without the least bit of concern, and they always assume that the monarchy is going to survive. And as they always say, oh, this could mean the end of the monarchy. This spells the end of the monarchy. The monarchy will not survive this, but yet they go on and on and on because the monarchy is not just one person. And with whatever the unseen hand that really controls things where the monarchy is concerned, if that is the way that goes, is that there is what the men in gray suits or whatever, whoever is calling the shots where the monarchy is concerned, um, I believe their intention is that it's just going to go on. But it's not the monarchy. The monarchy, I think if you assume that it's all about, and I'm saying anybody, not any individual directly, I'm just saying if we, if us, you and I assumed that the monarchy is all about the power that the royal family wields, the privilege that the royal family wields, I don't think that's correct. London is a big financial center. There is so much money in London. There is so much money that is laundered through London. There are arms deals, and there's all these secret organizations and guilds and groups and this and that. I mean, there's some really dark, shady characters there, but they wear a button down suit, they wear a waist coat, they walk with a cane or an umbrella. They're not, they're not like Marlon Brando sitting across a big mahogany desk or table or something like that. These guys are old money. And then there's a lot of new money. And I don't know if we would have the stomach to see what really goes on. I don't think anybody could ever know. We're not supposed to know. But the royal family gives a lot of cover to a lot of people. Is a great deal of cover. If you can be photographed with the royals, if you can spend a night in one of those homes, if you can be seen with this person or that person, it carries a lot of weight. That's why they always want them to keep going to these weird places, places where people live under the worst oppression, or the media has no real teeth or anything like that. They go to these places. I'll say this: the Queen has legitimized some of the most horrible people in the world, including Vladimir Putin, who went on a carriage ride with the Queen. So the Queen legitimized some pretty shady characters. So there's got to be more to it. There's got to be more to it, but I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think we'll ever know. But it's more than just the privilege for the Windsors. They are just there so that people aren't looking at other things. So thank God the Sussexes are not there anymore. But that's just the way I've always seen it. And there's like I told you guys, I had someone message me one day and said, "Well, I know you're a royalist." Of course, I blocked that person, but there's no way in the world that I could ever try to uphold an institution like that. I may have fun with all of the history and the castles and the palaces, but I still believe it's unsustainable. In spite of everything that I just said, I don't think that it's going to go on forever. People are going to have a change of heart. And as they say, it's not going to be the people that's against the royal family that's going to make things unmanageable for them. It will be the people that support them the most. Once they lose favor with those people, then the royal family as we know it will cease to exist. Let me see here. MC, thank you so much for super, the Cash App. The Cash App. Thank you so much for the Cash App. But yeah, so that's what I believe is that there's like some shadowy figures with that institution, and I can understand why anybody would be like, oh, well, I don't think I want Harry to depend on them for, that type of help. And I totally get that. I totally get that. I'm gonna, defer to the Sussexes as I often do. Whether or not it makes me feel uncomfortable, I will, support them regardlessly. But yeah, it's a lot of things that go on, like the Ravek. What the hell is a Ravek? And then when you look at the fly, the bee, and the wasp, and all those kind of people, oh my God, those people are scary. And I just think the Queen in those later years were surrounded by these very shady characters. And Harry, 5,000 miles away, can do nothing about it, cannot help her, can't even get near her without trying to get past them. How does that work? How does that work? I could not imagine not being able to see my grandmother because someone is blocking me and she can't say anything. That had to be incredibly painful. Thank you so much, Fatima. Okay, let me get moving here because Andrew, thank you so much for the super sticker and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Tuesday to you. But yeah, shadowy figures. People hiding in the shadows. Leisha says Prince Harry will appeal decision and make them put out another lame excuse for not allowing him to pay for their security and shine another big light on royal family protection expenses not paid by royal family. All of these things are taking a toll on that institution, Lisa. That is, he is taking a toll. And not because of what Harry's doing to them, but because they're so flippin' stubborn. They're so stubborn. And their relentless pushback is what's going to cause their undoing. It's not going to be because of Harry. Harry is helping to shed a light on these people. But if it wasn't this, it would be something else. There are so many people that it's like with Donald Trump. And I'm not going to compare the royal family to Donald Trump, not present tense, but over time. Um, Donald Trump hasn't lived long enough to do the dirt the royal family has done. But there are so many people that have been done wrong by Donald Trump. And the media was complicit in his rise to power by suppressing the voices of the people that were injured, not just, I don't mean physically injured, I'm talking about financially, spiritually, emotionally injured by that man. And as you can see, instead of giving him the easy trip that he had the first time, when the media turned against him, not whole and complete, but when they did turn against him, when they wouldn't let him have the voice that he had before, he didn't win the election. And he should have won. He really should have won. I didn't want him to win, but it was his to lose. All he had to do was act like a human being, a thinking, feeling, breathing human being, introduce the vaccine, and he'd have been good as gold. But his shadier nature is what defeated him. And I believe now that the queen is gone, Charles's shadier nature is what's going to defeat him. And if not Charles, trust me, by the time it gets to William, William's no better. William's no better. William is arrogant, cruel, and easily controlled. And that's why Harry couldn't be a part of that family anymore because they couldn't control him. William, you could play him like a fiddle. Charles, they play him like a fiddle. But you cannot control Harry. Remember when it was alleged that Charles was trying to get Harry to play along with those bags of money people, and he said no. And this was long before Meghan. He said no because he knew what kind of people they were. And then more recently, they tried to imply that this was some people that had something to do with Harry. They were trying to shift the blame to Harry. Harry called his lawyers. And if he was still in that institution, he wouldn't have been able to challenge that. But they quickly disassociated those people with Harry when he raised his voice. They can't control him. And if you can't control a person, then the next best thing is to try to undermine their sanity, to try to paint them as mentally unstable. That's what they did to Diana, and that's what they're trying to do to him. But he's over here. He's over here. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And they tried their best with the Vision of Hope Award. Oh, they tried their best, but it's not going to work. They wanted him to run out the back door. They wanted them to panic. It's not going to work. So, and let us not forget, he's got the squad. He's got the squad. We're not some organization. We're individuals. He's got the Sussex squad. Thank you for your comment. Let me see. Joe Lawman, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, my sinuses. What is going on with my sinuses all of a sudden? Okay, so let's go on to another topic like this one right here. Your donations to the Sussex Squad Kaboom fundraiser in celebration of Prince Archie and Princess Littlebit birthday is appreciated. Thank you. Together we can make a difference and help build playgrounds that ends play space inequity for children. Thank you. Thank you. So, speaking of the thank yous, there we go. Lisa Ratliff, let me play that one for you. I'm pretty sure most of y'all have seen it by now, but we'll do it anyway.
Hey, I'm Lisa Ratliff. I'm the CEO of Kaboom. We are a national nonprofit that is on a mission to end place-based inequity for good. And I just wanted to send out a very heartfelt thanks to the Sussex Squad. You have captured our hearts and blown us away by how your community has mobilized around the world for our kids. You have raised collectively over $80,000 this month and we just couldn't be more grateful for you and all that you do just to put your hearts into action and to support organizations like us who are living and breathing change for our kids and our future generations. Thank you so much for being part of our mission.
All right. Ah, my sinuses. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Let me get back over here. So, MSP says, so true, Baron. Also concerned about Harry's mental health. Harry's in a good place and definitely mentally sound. That royal family is cray cray ones. Yeah, and you know what, guys? You just triggered something. We only know about the situation at the award show, but we don't know what type of material may have been mailed to them, what type of audio or digital or whatever type of threats they may have received, because I am more than certain that on a routine basis that the Sussexes, thanks to the derangers, the tabloid media, and I'm just going to throw royal family in there, thanks to those people, they probably have received threats that would make us, queasy to know about. The same thing happened with the Sussexes. I'm sorry, with the Obamas. Anytime you have people of color in spaces of power, in places of power, or in spaces that is the reserve of, let's say, the Western European whites, if you put people of color in those positions, like Sadiq Khan, I wonder how many threats he gets. I wonder how many threats he gets. He said that he has been suffering from PTSD. Oh, did I say that right? Anyway, he's feeling the effects of his work because of the way he's been treated in that position. It is something that I have seen my whole life. It is something that a lot of you all have seen, and you know what I'm talking about. When you put someone black in those spaces, here comes the threats. And the scariest part about it is a lot of the people that make the threats, they don't even try to conceal their identities. They want you to know that this is what I intend to do. Now, most of the people obviously are just angry. They may have acted in anger. They may have made a phone call or posted something online and have no intentions. But, like in any situation, the reason why threats are so dangerous is because I'll use the word assassin. The first rule is if that person is willing to lose their life in exchange for yours, that's a very, very dangerous person. No doubt about it. So you can never underestimate what people are capable of. If you notice, a lot of these people that run into these public spaces in these schools and such and attack these schools, they know they're never going home again. And they don't seem to care. So I want the Sussexes to be as safe as possible, whatever it takes. And that's just the sad reality of it, is that there's some very disturbed people out there. And likewise, Let us not forget, there's someone allegedly entered the royal household with a crossbow. Someone years ago managed to sit down and have a chat with the queen in her bedroom, so they tell us. Princess Anne was almost kidnapped. So they're not necessarily safe either, but at least they have the intelligence. They will have people seriously trying to thwart any type of attacks. But without that kind of intelligence, then that would leave Harry and or the Sussexes vulnerable anytime they're in the United Kingdom. And it's not fair. It is just not fair. Any other head of state whose father, or should I say, any head of state who is the father of children that live under those same threats, is obliged to pay for their security. Even if it comes out of the public purse, that security is provided for. There is no question about the Secret Service providing security for the president, his family, or her family. Also, that goes to, say, the Speaker of the House. There's more than just the first family that's protected by the Secret Service, more than just the vice president's family protected by the Secret Service. There's a lot of people protected by the Secret Service. And when foreign dignitaries come here, they are protected too. And you never hear anybody here make a fuss about it, ever. So, what's the difference with Harry? His father is the head of state. Now, one could have made an argument, him being a grandchild, except he was a senior royal. He worked a lot for his country. And when he served those two tours of duty in Afghanistan, that put him at a greater threat, probably greater than anybody in the family. So, what's up? Give him his protection that he deserves and stop trying to gaslight us. His father is the head of state. Every head of state in the world has security provided for their children. Harry deserves security. And if Charles doesn't want the public to pay for it, he can more than well afford to pay for security for Harry. Do it until the kids are 18. How about that? Until they're old enough or whatever. But they don't even want to give a timetable. They just took the security away. No timetable, just no security. And it's the same thing that happened to Diana. So, God forbid something should ever happen to the Sussexes, because it is going to call into question. Isn't it the same thing you did to Diana? You took her security away and now she's gone. But you're protecting your brother and you're protecting other people in the family, but you don't protect your son. How does that look? Oh, okay. So thank you so much for that. All right. Oh, my sinuses. What happened to my sinuses all of a sudden? Let me see. Okay. I am going to go to something else here. So I just took a glance. I did not see anything, much to my disappointment. Let me check one more time. Let me check one more time just to say I did. Nope, nothing. I don't see a thing. Oh Lord. Oh well. Nothing for now. Okay. Yeah, nothing for now. Oh my God, is this a wax figure? Kate Middleton, a social climber, mannequin with no personality. Is that a mannequin? Oh, yeah, that's got to be a mannequin. If it's not, let me see. Kate Middleton receives a slew of criticism when she first joined the royal family in 2011. Okay, that looks like a big fat nothing burger. That's one of those weird publications. All right, so nothing yet. Let me get on with it then. Well, okay. Okay. All right, so let me take a look at a couple of your comments here. Let me see. What's even worse is that the supermodel Kate Moss can pay for security, but Prince Harry, a royal blood and son of the reigning king, isn't allowed. They're planning something scary, God forbid. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Let's see. Prince Harry is still royal, and his children are all in the line of succession and should still have security. No matter where he is, protect your line of succession, King Charles. He is your son. Yeah. And as John Miller said, because they essentially are private citizens, it's a peculiar. They're private, but they're not. How could you be private if you and your children are in a line of succession? How could you just be a private person? That's impossible. Your father is the king of England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, etc. It's impossible for you to just be a private person. The threat, the threat is real. I would say that if they don't want to be in this position, then you better make up some rules because it's going to happen again. When Charlotte decides to go to, let's say, Stanford, right? And then she just never goes back. Charlotte get a taste of Auntie Meghan and Uncle Harry and she just never goes back. What are you going to do? Strip her security? They better get used to the idea that these are modern times. The Queen held it together for 70 years. 70 years of what do you call it? 70 years of the Queen. In other words, nothing ever changed. The Queen held things back. If it was up to the Queen, they would still have the Royal Yacht Britannia. Tony Blair took it, but if it was up to the Queen, they would still have it. But in this information age that we live in, those kids are going to learn about that family like never before. Harry was very naive about his family. He believed in his family. The worst part about it is he thought that he could depend on them. And they have proved that you certainly cannot. Even when they promised, they didn't keep the promise. So, as an example, Harry is going to let Harry's going to inform, should I say, the rest of the kids in the family, the future generations, and they will know what the gaslighting looks like. They will see the history playing out on social media, and they'll know better. They didn't have that for Harry. They didn't have that for William, for that matter. But I don't think that they could ever go back. It's going to be interesting to see how they try to maintain those traditions, but it's going to be impossible. And William is not bright enough to pull it off. So we'll see. William is very reactive. And that's why Harry's not there anymore, because William's reaction drove him out of Kensington Palace and eventually out of the United Kingdom. So if he did that to his own brother, being the bully that he is, what do you think is going to happen to his kids when they refuse to toe the line, when they refuse to walk the walk? What do you think is going to happen to them? William is going to explode, and it's going to be a disaster. He is going to explode, and it's going to be a disaster. And what he'll probably do is to try to get someone else to do his dirty work. Can't wait to see it. Feel sorry for the kids. Okay. Uh, oh, I didn't even talk about this yet. So tonight is the 48th annual Gracie Awards. In front of and behind the camera winners. Oh, can you hear my allergies? That just kicked up all of a sudden. Will come together and celebrate their shared achievements. Special performance by Sophia Carson and Diane Warren. Oh, she writes those songs that Tony Braxton sang, right? Love Diane Warren. Presenters include Maria Shriver, love her, Jodie Balfour, Camille, oh, good. That person, Luddington, and more. I can't say that name. Oh, I can't say it. I got to go wash my mouth out. I don't want to say Camilla. Please don't make me say it. Is it Katie Valentine? Oh, no, see, I. uh, anyway, that slipped, but thank you so much. Okay. Oh my God. How did that slip? My allergies. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, okay. All right. So oh, hold on, you guys. Let me do this. I don't know how this started. Oh, must be like I wonder if it's going to rain. That probably means it's going to rain. Oh, my allergies. It's so weird. I was fine earlier. I was singing Tony Braxton. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Okay, coming very soon. Suits complete series coming to Netflix in the US on June 17th. I've never watched the series, you guys, but you will all have the opportunity to watch Rachel. Is it Rachel Zane? Yeah, you'll have a chance to see Rachel Zane. 7 years of Suits is coming. Is it 8 years? They had 1 year without her, right? So I think it's 8 years of Suits. So be prepared, you guys, because Suits is coming. All right. And you know what? Patrick J. Adams, he is the stud. I love this guy. The way he stood up for Meghan was just encouraging. I mean, he really took the royal family to task. He called them out and bruised their little egos. So I'm going to try. I have this phobia about starting a series because if I do, then I am very unproductive in the rest of my life. And also, thank you, honorable mention to uh, Gail King. Oh, see, my allergies. Gail King for calling out. I don't think she used any names, but Gail King has been all over the place, and this has been trending. I wonder if that has something to do with the talent agency that our Duchess has signed up to. I wonder if it has anything to do with that. The Duchess of Sussex, as you know, has joined the, oh God, anyway, you know that place, Ari Emanuel. So I wonder if this has something to do with them. I'm just asking for a friend if this may have something to do with that because I can't believe that it's been trending. But I did this screenshot, and as you can see, there's a good 24-hour news cycle. And what's good about this, you guys, is that it's going to make people question the validity of this campaign to disparage the Sussexes. It's going to call into question this campaign to create doubt about the chase. They're trying to sow seeds of doubt. Who's trying to do it and for what? And why aren't more American um, personalities, talk show hosts, whatever, how come they're uh, siding with the tabloid media? The same tabloid media that sided with the Taliban. Where are your priorities? I wonder if that was like really directed toward Whoopi Goldberg, what Gail King has said. Kind of hard to say. Um, Sad news, you guys. Very sad news. Woman hit by Royal Police escort motorbike dies. A woman hit by police motorcycle escorting the Duchess of Edinburgh has died. Her family have confirmed. So she was in a coma for a couple of weeks, and the Duchess of Edinburgh said that she was praying and thinking about her or something to that effect. And I guess that was the end of it. Now, since that time, there hasn't been much reported about this. Now, if the tabloid media acted toward Sophie the way that they would have acted toward anybody else, like if that was, let's say, if that was someone in a band or some television personality that got into a situation like that, not even with a police escort, but caused injury, they would have linked it to about 10 other stories about how people in certain situations have been driving crazy, right? And why we need to, or they will blame it on, well, they did try to blame it on the intersection or the road, that she's the third person that has been struck at that same location. So they've tried to find some kind of way to make sure that nobody looks at the idea of a police escort. And from what we hear, Sophie was not actually on official royal duty. Sophie was just out there doing something besides an official call. At least we haven't seen anything in her diary. They haven't reported anything that reflects the necessity of Sophie Wessex out on the street with a police motorcade. They could have simply have put Sophie in a Range Rover and have her followed by another Range Rover. You don't always need those motorcycles out there. So I'm wondering what was the necessity of having almost like a well, I was gonna. I've seen the Queen go places that didn't have motorcycles. You know what I'm saying? They have like a couple of vehicles, and that's it. I don't get the motorcycles. The motorcycles are for when you want to stop traffic or something like that. But I don't know. It's just something very strange about that. Something very strange about it. And I guess the fact that the press isn't saying much about it is either because they're just so slanted in favor of the uh, rest of the royal family, or that there's something to hide. So this was Sophie out the other day. It looks like she presented a cup to someone. But this is the thing. They wrote this article like Sophie was the one being brave. Sophie was the one who was showing real courage by emerging from the house and being seen publicly for the first time since her police escort ran down an 81-year-old woman and knocked her several feet in the air. The scene must have been horrific for everybody involved. And I don't doubt that there's sympathy there. But if it was the Sussexes, like for instance, there is a video that is making the rounds with the Derangers where the police are verbally chastising a driver reported to be part of the motorcade that the Sussexes had the other night. However, the narrator is speaking German. So all we have is the Derangers saying who that person is. And yes, you can see the police were yelling at someone who was likely a limousine driver or something like that. May have even been security. However, from the night of the incident, what did they tell us? No one was injured and no one was arrested. There were no tickets issued. So if that's the case, we know that the police yelled at some of the tabloid people. We don't even know if that was a driver with the Sussexes. And even if it was already reported that they blocked a street here and blocked the street there to try to put space between themselves and these lunatics that were following them. That is not news, but they're reporting it as though the police singled out this one individual. Of course, we're not going to see anything that shows where the police had conversations with the paparazzi, which we know they did. And so, yeah, that is the video that the Derangers are making rounds with. LC, thank you so much for the Venmo. You know, this is the third Venmo I've ever received. Nobody ever sends Venmos. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Yeah, I never get Venmos for some reason, so that is very cool. I'm excited. Andrew Bodie says, Baron, that's just freaking sad. Why was she rushing anywhere for anything? She is not important enough for the speed. Horrible. You know, I'm sorry. When you said not important enough, I'm sorry. That just always gets me because she really is not important enough. People don't even know she exists. They don't even know she exists. They probably thought that was the king's the king's physician or something like that, as opposed to being a member of the royal family. And I love the way they're trying to make her look so dowdy in this image, so not to look as though she's being extravagant in the wake of that horrific accident. They're really dressing her down. This is an insult to people's intelligence that they have dressed her down. One of the most fashion, I was going to say forward, one of the most fashion backwards people that has ever tried to inspire. And they have her in this crumpled sports outdoorsy Eddie Bauer coat or whatever that is. And then, of course, she's wearing something god awful under it. And this is supposed to solicit sympathy as though she's the one that has a relative in the hospital in a coma. And they really wrote the article to make it look like Sophie was showing bravery by emerging since the tragic accident. Wow. Talk about gaslighting. Fatima says, I guess any royal person deserves the tabloids' propaganda to protect the person from any problem, big or small, as long as they are not the Sussexes. The Sussexes are always victims of those propagandas. Yeah, yeah. The Sussexes gives a lot of cover to things they would rather you not know about. They don't want the public to be interested in. It really must be the gift that will not ever cease to give, having the Sussexes to distract from what the rest of the royal family is doing. Like that day that Robert Jobson, remember he had tweeted, I wonder whatever happened to the investigation about bullying claims, just out of the blue. And I forgot why he did that, but it was because of something else that was happening. And he wanted to throw some confusion into the news cycle. And it worked too. It worked because then other people repeated the same thing. It was as though he had got a signal from one of the royal households. Let's just say, I don't know this to be true, but allegedly Clarence House. And then all of a sudden, once he got his marching orders, he took a deep gasp. I wonder whatever happened to those bullying claims. And it was just out of the blue. Totally unnecessary, not associated with anything that was going on. And then what the hell is she wearing? I just caught a look at what is that? What is that? I'm looking at her. I guess I didn't notice that before. Maybe I thought it was shrubbery or something. What is she wearing under that coat? That is hideous. That is hideous. Just when you think that she couldn't possibly have anything more matronly or frumpy or ridiculous than what she needs to stay away from patterns. That's it. She needs to go to solids. It is an attack on the senses. That's what it is. She needs to go to solids. What is that? Oh my goodness. That's pretty bad. Okay, girl, we get it. You upset. We get it. Yeah, you upset. We get it. Oh, that is dreadful. Anyway, Helen Holland, who was hit by a police motorcycle escorting Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, has died. Her family said the 81-year-old fought for her life for nearly 2 weeks, but irreversible damage, that is, to her brain finally ended the battle today. So one day she was walking from the supermarket or the food bank, and the next thing you know, she was uh, killed by a royal motorcade. But something that should have easily have been linked to the relentless chase that the Sussexes endured the other day. And of course, that same tabloid that could connect some of the darndest things, they don't see any connection between the movement of one part of the royal family and the other. If it would have happened to the Sussexes, we would have never heard the end of it. We would have never heard the end of it. And no matter how bizarre and I guess inappropriate, they would have made some kind of connection. No matter how unlikely, no matter how loosely, they would have found a connection of some sort. If it involved royals and it involved vehicles, they'd have found a connection. But because it's the Sussexes, nothing. Okay, there's another photo of these two young kings with Our Lady of Perpetual Buttons. You know what? Celibacy, they know they can come up with some stuff. Our Lady of Perpetual Buttons. Our Lady of Perpetual Buttons. Celibacy, just so you know, Celibacy, they come on Saturdays. Sometimes they'll skip for a week or two, but they usually come on Saturdays. They upload a video podcast, and so from time to time, they can come up with some doozies. Like, for instance, thanks to Celibacy, I have jazz hands. The first time I heard them say, actually, I only ever heard them say it one time. They were asking the question, why does Kate always start doing that jazz hand thing? And you know how when she talks, those hands are flailing about. And I remember I just let out this primal scream and I could not stop laughing. So from that day on, I have been calling her Jazz Hands. And then, of course, I even made this little reimagined image of her as the lead dancer in some kind of Fosse like dance troupe. So, yeah, you know, Fosse always had those jazz hands. So, thank you, Celibici, for that. Yeah, they're pretty good. They have some little zingers every so often. So, and so my new favorite zinger, of course, is Our Lady of Perpetual Buttons. I'm gonna have to find the right coat dress to link that one to, though. So shouldn't be too hard to do. I know she's got this red one that's loaded with buttons. And then, of course, here's a throwback. I don't even remember when this was taken. Now they shared the photo when she was in Denmark, but that wasn't from the trip to Denmark. So I don't remember what it was, but as you can see, Kate is having the usual effect on the people around her. Well, the children around her. But let me see. I'm surprised the UK tabloids it did not state Como is Harry and Meghan would have stayed working royals, then this would not have happened. Um, I think what does his name say that? I don't even think it took an hour. No, I take that back. I don't know when he did it, but Dan Wooten, he said something about if they would have stayed over there, this would not have happened. So, but the thing is, even though he's not over there, it's not like the royal family is helpless to stop the tabloids. They just choose to not do it. They would rather any negative attention is focused on them. And I mean, it's not difficult to figure this out. If it's something negative, then that is the domain of the Sussexes, and everything else is for the rest of the family. It's just that simple. The Sussexes have been the lightning rods. So, Let me see. Yeah. You're talking about the other kids here. Yeah, I think I've heard that someplace. That the kids' parents are probably from a Sussex squad, but I think the kids just get it. I mean, there are things on TikTok, and as we know, all the kids love TikTok. And so that's why, oh, I want to be on TikTok so bad. I just don't know where I would find the time. But that's the TikTok generation looking at this relic of a Windsor and they see the difference. Oh, but that one that one kid on the very far right, good God, that is funny. That is funny. And let me see here. And then, okay, this has been floating around today. I don't know when this was taken, but take a look at Uncle Pennywise. Take a look at Rambolina. Rambolina is in the company of some children of African descent, and they don't look the least bit impressed. That and the one girl with the oh gosh, well, whatever she has on her head. I don't know what you would call it, a bow or whatever. But that look on her face, like, huh, yeah. And I thought, I thought it was a bad idea to have him. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but let's face it, he has that Anthony Perkins energy down. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who gives off that much Anthony Perkins energy should never be around children that are not related to him. I mean, he will haunt your dreams, okay? He will haunt your dreams. Don't allow something like this to be around decent children. So, yeah, scary. Uh, uh wow, is that another Venmo? Oh, cool. I think. Wow, it is. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Now I got two Venmos. That is almost a record. Let me see. That was the third. So yeah, half of the Venmos I ever got, I got today. That is very cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, but he's giving off that Anthony Perkins. And Alistair Campbell tells High Court Piers Morgan authorized reports to hack into bank accounts. Former editor allegedly told reporter to obtain detail of Campbell's mortgage payments in 1999. Speaking, of course, of that hoghead Piers Morgan, well, as you know, they are trying to, or should I say, Piers Morgan is trying to, what do you call it? A matter of fact, now that I think about it, did you guys see today when Piers Morgan had whoever that was on his show, the black lady on his show, and she said that he had I don't think she said racist tendencies, but she put it some kind of way to say that he was uh, to say that he was racist. And for some reason, I just don't believe that that was real. I think it looked like theater to me. What are you talking about? It looked like theater to me. It did not look like a real exchange. And I watched it several times. It did not look real. It almost seems as though Pierce is trying to pull attention away from this court case. That's what I got out of it. Have you guys seen it or no? It looks like he was trying to pull attention away from this court case. Antoinette Kennedy says, Barron, maybe that's why King Charles is taking a break due to the women expiring. I don't know. I know he's going to that cabin or whatever it is, that retreat. That's strange that he's going there, but yeah, that is strange. So Piers Morgan told reporter to hack into Alistair Campbell's bank account in the hope of finding incriminating transactions, it has been claimed at the High Court. Morgan, then editor of the Daily Mirror, allegedly told reporter Gary Jones to obtain details of Campbell's mortgage payments in 1999. The court heard that Jones then subcontracted the work to private investigator Jonathan Rees. Campbell, who at one time was Downing Street's director of communications, said he believed the newspaper editor was two faced. He said Morgan pretended to be a friend while secretly authorizing Jones, now the editor of the Daily Express, to target his bank accounts. So that's why I got the two faces, because in this article, they had called him a two-face, and that was all I needed. So Campbell said he had first uh, he had firsthand knowledge of how the Daily Mirror operated, having previously served as the newspaper's political editor. I find it very hard to believe that any editor, especially one as hands-on as Mr. Morgan, would not have known the demands to know where the big stories were coming from. So um, that's yet another person that has decided to come clean about Piers Morgan. And he is pretending to be unbothered by this. That's impossible. And this is that thing that I saw when I was getting ready. I said, oh, I got to share this with you guys. Well, there is the emotional support Camilla reading Spare. Not exactly, but as a matter of fact, Camilla, if you're actually not reading Spare, can you stomp your hoof 2 times? But if you are reading Spare, just stomp your hoof once. Oh, man. Okay. There's a carrot in it for you. All right. I know that's me. So, Sai, imagine generational trauma his family has endured. So, this is the Ethiopian prince that was kidnapped by the British. This young lad is in dire, well, not dire, but the people of Ethiopia would like to repatriate his remains and bury him in Ethiopia. However, the royal family says no, they are not going to turn over his remains. And I promise you, they are hanging on to him like some type of religious relic. So, Buckingham Palace reject calls to return remains of stolen prince to Ethiopia. Prince Ala yeah, I think that's right, was taken to England after British forces defeated his father and looted his imperial capital. Ethiopia has been asking for his remains to be returned for 150 years. They want him back. Amehu, Alamehu, was taken from Africa after British forces defeated his father and looted his imperial capital in one of the most notorious military operations of Britain's colonial era. Ethiopia has been asking for the prince's remains and other treasures to be returned for the last 150 years. So, well, yeah, so they won't give him back. They will not give him back. So they said that one of the reasons why they won't return his remains, if not the principal reason, is that to disturb the burial place, which I believe is the vault beneath the St. George Chapel, to disturb those graves would, or to return to, even if they wanted to, is how they put it, it would be too disturbing with the rest of the graves that they have, or burials, entombments that they have downstairs in the St. George Chapel. So, in other words, they're making it sound like they have to dig him out of something, or break him out of some, break his remains out of something. If you look at this, what do you see? You see gates on shelves. And I got a better one for you. African princess Sarah Forbes Bonetta, she was kidnapped from Africa. And Maharaja Dulip Singh, he was kidnapped from India. And I'm trying to figure out, are there any other people that were stolen from their place of birth and presented as a gift to Queen Victoria? Because the Maharaja was, and this African princess, Sarah Forbes Bonetta, she was a gift to Queen Victoria. And so was this young man. They were presented as gifts, as trinkets, as trophies of victory. They were not just adopted, they were not just lost, they were stolen from their families. Take a look at this photo. If you look at this photo, I just only noticed this for the first time today. There's a big, gigantic key on the gate. So the gates swing open and you can enter this tomb, which is not full, by the way. And if you can open that gate, then you can open up the other gates and return his earthly remains. But they choose to not do it. Harry said in Spare that some people look at his family like a death cult. I'm inclined to believe it. ER, thank you so much for this Cash App. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, Helen Marmon, I hope this isn't jarring for you, but it is true. They kidnapped those kids. And when they went to Ethiopia, it was said to have been the largest single plundering of art and relics or religious, whatever it was. When they went to Ethiopia, they cleaned out anything of value, just like they did in what is present day Nigeria. They ripped off everything that they could carry from Benin, including the bronzes. So it's breathtaking that they won't give this child's body back. He was buried, and they thought it was an act of mercy to bury him, a prince, amongst, well, really should be the emperor of Ethiopia. The child of an emperor has been buried with all of these Hanoverians and such. And then over here, you can see that as a young child, he was taken to Britain and he was educated and dressed up like he goes to, I don't know, one of those schools. They said that he was often depressed, incredibly lonely, and they attribute his death to a broken heart. They don't know what he died from. You know, back in those days, a lot of people just died and there was no explanation. But they said he died of a broken heart. He did not have his family. He was surrounded by all these aristocrats, these royals, and treated like a curiosity. And I'm just wondering how many children were brought to Queen Victoria and presented as gifts. That is just weird. That is just weird. Sick. Speaking of weird and sick, how about this guy, Rupert Murdoch? Rupert Murdoch, they have another image of him that has emerged today. And I don't know what to make of it. Although they said that there was someone close to his estate. Remember when they had announced that he was engaged? There was some dark hooded figure that was combing the streets around his house looking for the Murdoch Smith wedding. So if you guys see this individual, please send him in the right direction because he's got work to do. As a matter of fact, there's even talk that he was invited to the coronation. So if you guys see him, please make sure that you send him toward. Matter of fact, oh, he was at the royal wedding. Okay. I thought he looked familiar. Okay, and with that, you guys, I am done. Thank you all so much for joining me. Let me take a quick look to see if there's anything to see. And if I can find something, I will share it with you. So let me go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything. Oh, well. Well, yep, I don't see anything for tonight. I didn't even see any red carpet or anything like that. But yeah, you guys go ahead and get some sleep. It is so late for some of you guys, and some of y'all are just starting your mornings, but I really do thank you for staying up late. I had kind of a busy day, but I won't be on so late tomorrow. Plus, I wanted to come on late just in case there was anything to share. But this is so not the other night um, in more ways than one. So it doesn't look like there's anything to share. But whatever is going on, wherever our Duchess is, just know that we support you. And of course, we only want the best for you. So we, the Sussex squad, will be here for you no matter what. So, yeah, I don't see anything for it. Okay. And so, with that, I am going to go, but thank you all so much. That's too bad. Well, I don't want to be greedy. We've had plenty from them this week. Good night, VS. Good night, Shay. Oh, I got to do something about my allergies. Oh, Alicia, thank you so much for being here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to make it a very quick exit because it is late. It is late for some of you guys. I couldn't believe that Connie Balmer was here tonight. I'm just like, this late. Yeah. So that's 3 kids that I count, though. 3 kids that were gifted. 3 kids that were gifted to Queen Victoria. The spoils of victory. And I believe, I don't know about Sarah Bonetta, but I know that both young men died very young. I think that the one that's buried, the one that the Ethiopian prince, I think he was 19 years old when he died. They said he died of a broken heart. He was lonely and very depressed. So, yeah, that is unfortunate. That is really, really unfortunate. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my allergies. It just kind of snuck up on me. I was sitting up there minding my own business. And next thing you know, my allergies just went from bad to worse. So sorry about that, you guys. I kind of, oh, I don't know what happened. Okay. Yeah, ginger tea, that sounds good. You see, Queen Elizabeth isn't innocent at all. And all this children have come up missing allegedly when she went to go to visit Africa as well. Really? Because I heard about Canada, but I never heard about Africa. Wow. I never heard that before, but it doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't. So, yeah, who knows what strange rituals surrounds those people. But, well, I never heard of that before. Okay. Add honey to some tea, I bet, huh? Yeah, I need something, that's for sure. Ginger tea, add honey. Okay. Very creepy, huh? Yeah. I'm just like, and the royal, if they were not royal children, I mean, they took them and westernized them as though they were going to try to use them, you know? So they took them and westernized them, made them wear the Western clothes, and tried to get them to forget about their parents. That is what I call um, like an indoctrination. They just take them and teach them the Western ways and try to get them to forget about their families. Okay. Yeah. Spooky. Very spooky. Yeah, and could you imagine? Could you imagine one day you're in Ethiopia, the next thing you know, you're standing in front of Queen Victoria, ain't got on no deodorant, ain't took no bath since Albert died. Ugh, could you imagine that? You know, when I see Queen Victoria, all I can think of is it just seemed like she doesn't bathe or didn't bathe. I bet she stank. Ooh, I bet she had a stench on her. Yeah, Queen Victoria. She just looked like she never took a bath. She about greasy as a pork chop. Ugh. Yep, Queen Victoria. The notorious Queen Victoria. Okay, good night, everybody. I know I'm just so shady, right? But she looked like she didn't take a bath. And then, of course, when she died and they did the autopsy, you know how when you injure your arm and you're supposed to have your arm in the sling? Well, I think she had a sling, but I don't think it had anything to do with a injured extremity. Um, okay, let me get out of here because my allergies are bothering me and I'm starting to get weird. So thank you very much. Love you guys. And also, I'll be looking for the last word of the day. And of course, always our queens. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pocahontas took her from her people. Yeah. They said that the royal family said today that they are not returning his remains. Period. Non negotiable. They are not returning his remains. I bet it's like some kind of weird shrine that they got in that basement. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I'm looking for the last word. Uh, okay. Yeah, Queen Victoria, she didn't take baths. Let me see. Oh, wait, what is that? Isn't it interesting? They don't want to sign their own grace, but they can dig graves in Egypt. Oh, you mean disturb, right? Um, yeah, they can dig up people every place else, but they don't want anybody digging around with their remains. And you know it's gonna happen. You know it's gonna happen. They're gonna find some excuse to go into those graves one of these days. Some excuse. They always do. Oh, you think there might be something like that down there? Yeah, it must be something. I bet you it's something weird. I bet you it's something weird. Okay, that'll be our last word tonight. Dansby says, "Good night, Duchess, on your Gracie. I mean, congratulations, Duchess, on your Gracie Award. Very good. That works for me. Thank you very much. That's what I was looking for. A nice segue to end with. And yeah, still nothing. I didn't even see any red carpet, anything. Huh. Interesting. All right, then. That's that. All right, love you guys. See you tomorrow. Earlier, of course. And cue Ginger Avenger. Wow, this is anticlimactic. I thought that, or is it not anticlimactic? Yeah. I thought for sure that there was going to be something. I mean, it's the Gracie Awards. I don't see it. Maybe that's what I should do is look under Gracie Award. I don't see anything. I was depending on Twitter. So, but nothing. I don't see any red carpet or nothing. So I'm guessing she didn't go. But there was no mention or confirmation that she would go, so it's okay. Well, I'm Googling Gracie Award. I don't see a thing. Oh, Gracie Awards has a Twitter account. Why didn't I think of that? Uh, okay, give me just a second. I'm going to check the Twitter for Gracie Award. No, that's not working. All right, you guys. So I thought coming on later today, we would have that to talk about, but it wasn't meant to be. Yeah, I just looked on Twitter for Gracie 2023 and I don't see a thing. So, my apologies. I thought that we would. Okay. Oh, it's 10:10 a.m., huh? Okay. Do I have an email? Yeah, Lydia, what's going on with that? It's like there's nothing to see. I mean, and someone said that they had a red carpet, so um wow. Okay, I guess it wasn't meant to be. So in the meantime, I guess we'll just have to wait for another occasion. I don't know. I was excited. Yeah, fiddlesticks. Sorry for my language, but fiddlesticks. Okay. Oh yeah, very good idea. We all need to keep praying for the Sussexes and for the squatties. Yep, gotta pray for both. And also, speaking of squatties, I haven't heard any updates from Geraldine White, Jerry White. So I'm going to have to try to get in touch with her to see what her progress is since her surgery. But I do pray she's okay. Um, she should be recovering. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the palace was very, very certain about the fact that they were not going to do anything and don't ask because it is off the table. Period. Okay. Oh, thank you, Andrew Bodie. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Oh, you want to send a message privately? The email, what is it? Wait, let me check to make sure I get it right. It is Royal Sussex Channel at gmail.com, all lowercase. Royal Sussex Channel at gmail.com. Yep, that's it. Royal Sussex Channel at gmail.com. Huh, okay. All right, got it. Oh, thank you so much, Lydia Washington. Royal Sussex Channel at gmail.com. Oh, my allergies. Okay, I better go. Oh, it's so humid. Oh, you guys, I haven't checked in all day. I want to see where that new channel is with their subscribers, just out of curiosity. Let me see where she is. Let me see. Wow, 1,550 subscribers, 1.55K. That is just, that is like, let me see, it was 477. So, yeah, I don't know what you call that. Is that like 100% or is it 200%? I don't know. But anyway, it's more than doubled. 2/3 bigger than what it was. But yeah, very impressive. Thank you, squad. When you guys show up and show out, you guys show up and show out. Thank you so much for that. Let me see here.
And especially when we're talking about a government organization like a police.
Okay. Looks good though. I can't wait till she post another video. I guess I could go back and look at some of the older ones though. Huh. Okay. Oh, a closed event. Tickets sold out. Oh. So I guess after everything that happened earlier this week, nobody wants to take pictures or share photos. And I'm all for that. Keep it private. Keep it cute. Keep it cute. Yeah. Probably nobody wants to share any photos. It's okay. We want our Sussexes safe. All right. And with that, I'm out. Love you guys. See ya.